is Leland today. I'm just standing in the corner. Let me get Danny in I'm over at the Knowles Group today. They just did a ribbon cutting on Danny's new office over here, and this is good timing, Danny, because I had no idea. So grab those headphones if you need them. You may not need them. I'm in Danny's radio podcast room that they built in his new offices over here, where he and his sons do that show that you can hear on the station every weekend. And it just so happened, I was kidding with Justin when I started, we managed to arrange to come and do the show with you as the Dow went up 1,125 points today. That's pretty good timing. If you can't get that headphone on, you don't need it. It's fine. You can hear me. Yeah. What's going on with the market today? Tell me what. I know you've been busy with your office stuff, but your folks are keeping up. What's the big deal?
Well, I mean, it's like every other day. Trump spoke today, and so when he speaks, the market goes up even more.
Crazy?
Yeah.
Well, I should know, but what did he say market-wise that made everybody
so
confident?
that he's looking to end this conflict. Everybody says, we're in a war, but it's basically a conflict.
Yeah, it's a few weeks.
It's a few weeks.
And we're going to have cheap oil for generations if we get these crazy people out of that region.
I hope so. I tell everybody my concept of this, him taking over Venezuela and now going into Iran. I think I told you this, didn't I, Justin, that he's going to take the two oils because, Venezuela's oil, it's so thick, it has to be mixed with some. So I'm thinking he's going to take Iran oil, mix it together, and sell the Venezuela oil worldwide since they have such a surplus.
Well, and China was getting a discount on oil because we had two regimes that were getting sanctions. So they were getting dirt cheap oil while we're paying and pumping our own. And he just evened the playing field. China is cut off now from the cheap discount embargo to oil.
He's playing field on everything. I mean, if they let him continue to act like a business, America is a business now.
Yeah, no doubt.
And focus on our business proposition versus proposition in the world, then we'll be okay.
Economic security is national security.
That is correct.
And don't you see that with the markets?
I see it every day. I mean, it's down, but at the end of the day, it's what it is.
Well, tell me, what's it been like just the last 3 weeks? I've been kind of hitting around. I bet your phone's ringing off the hook. I'm sure clients, despite having you as a professional advisor, I'm sure clients get a little nervous. They want to call their guy and go, hey, we're all right. And so what's it been like?
Well, we have calls, and they want to know. I mean, if you remember last year, and you did a great job covering it last year during March, April, and May, the tariff. Oh, yeah. The tariff drove the market down 15-20% last year. But if you look at the roll-up here, we've had the roll-up of the tariff, the adjustment that the Supreme Court came back.
Right.
We've had this conflict. We've had the Federal Reserve the war between Trump and the Federal Reserve.
Yeah, it's totally political. They won't mess with the rates.
It's political and not lowering the rates last time. We've had a great job market. It's not meet expectations, but it's not exceeded expectations, but it's met expectations. Yep. And we just had all of these three storms come together, and it's drove the market down. But the good thing about it is we do such a great job here communicating with our clients. They call and say, hey, we're going to be okay. Mm-hmm. And I say, well, the market's down a little bit, but remember the tariff last year. And they say, oh, yeah.
And so that's lived experience. And so they get a little calm and say, just hold, don't sell now.
Yeah.
Because it's a mistake.
Yeah, so it's a short-term deal. It's a conflict. It's not a war.
Exactly. Well, and the thing, in my estimation, Danny, you're the expert, but when you know what the cause of a quick shock is, you can see what would be the fix, which is we're done with hostilities. We're back to business. Trump keeps saying we're going to get there in 6 weeks. It's been 4 weeks. So it makes sense. But if the market goes down because of something fundamental, not an event, but something
everything
fundamental.
Is fundamental. Everything drives it. So I can't sit here and say we're not fundamentally in a correction, because we are in a correction
by the
right
math.
now.
Yeah.
But and somebody asked me today, are we moving into a recession? I'm going to say no. But if you look at the textbook, but of course Biden never used a textbook.
No, he didn't, and they fudged the numbers on him.
Yeah. So I don't think we're in a recession. I don't think we're in a massive correction. I think we're in a situation where there was three massive storms, where they rolled together like the perfect storm, and now Trump is the weatherman, and he's clearing it up.
I like that. He's the weatherman.
He is. He's the weatherman.
So. I know you're not going to predict any kind of future, but a rise like we saw today, is that some people that were seeing the bottom and they just want to get back in at those prices?
I think we're at the bottom. If I had to say, I think we're near the bottom. I told clients today in reviews that we're at the bottom. of course, my son, who's the accountant, sits back there and calculates charts and darts all day. And he comes to me. I said, "Calm down. It's the nature of the beast. You and I have been around this for
He's young.
35 years. You and I have been around this for 35. We've seen everything.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the end of the day, it's just how the market reacts. I mean, look, when Trump came out and said, "Hey, we're ending this war," the market started this morning at 5 o'clock shooting straight up.
And there's been more boat traffic through the strait, which I think
absolutely.
that's even though it didn't directly affect oil prices.
That's exactly
The market
right.
saw that as that's the beginning of the end.
That's right.
there.
I mean, you know, Iran shooting missiles at Turkey this week. It didn't help us none at the end of last week and the first
Sure.
of this week. But it is what it is.
And their strategy all along is to spook the American market so that there's pressure on the politicians. But Trump doesn't play
that
that
is the
game.
best statement that you gave today. The point is we don't fight traditional wars anymore. We fight economic war.
Exactly.
We fight artificial intelligent war. We fight those type of wars now because that's where the world's moving to. We don't fight a traditional 3,000 soldiers going from the 82nd Airborne and 3,200 Marines over there, 6,200 in that centralized location. That's nothing. And if you recall, and you've been a political science major, if you recall, we've been in a conflict with Iran since Carter.
You and I were in the 8th grade together, and do you remember how it felt when we didn't know what was going on in the world? To me, Danny, it was when I started paying attention.
That's right.
I would go home. They took our hostages.
Yeah.
And I would go home and watch this little black and white TV on Trammell Street. You remember where I lived?
That's right.
And I'd watch Ted Koppel because I couldn't figure out how we'd let a little country steal our people like that and hold them. And it was a gut punch.
Yeah.
So you and we had a young man to call last week in his 30s, and he was real nervous about it. But I was like, we're a little older. We've seen this for a long time. This country had it coming.
And then I think 84, 85, or 86 when Iran-Contra hit with Reagan and North took the fall on the sword. I mean, we've been in this.
We've seen this
Every
stuff.
president since Carter has experienced this.
And we've tried everything. They've tried negotiation. They've tried bribery. They've tried intimidation. We've tried sanctions. And these people, when they're religiously dug in on bringing about the end of the world, you're not going to change their mind with a peace deal.
And the thing with Harris coming out, and they said, what does Biden say to Iran? And her word was don't.
Don't. Yeah.
What does that mean?
That was their strategy. Didn't work out too well, did
it? Didn't work out. You know, I mean, don't. You know, I mean, what the heck is that?
So it's Tuesday, and if this vibe continues, the market's got some ground to gain. But man, it was. Let me see what this little chart says.
It was at 980 when I looked.
I was looking at it finished 1125. It's 2.5 points today.
Yeah,
2.5%. I mean, my mind, I'm still thinking about markets being at 5,000. So when I see a 1,000-point drop or gain, that seems like a huge deal. It's 2%. I mean, it's 2.5%.
When I got into this business, I was a second lieutenant in Oklahoma, and Auburn graduate. All I wanted to do was to blow stuff up, to be a soldier, be a soldier. So I'm sitting there with this guy that was a National Guardist from New York, and he says, "Hey, Nose, you know what's going to happen today?" And I go, "Yeah, we're going out to the range and we're going to call in artillery fire and we're going to blow stuff up today." He goes, "No, fool. This is what's going to happen. The market is going to hit a historical 3,000. The Dow's going to hit a historical 3,000 points." Now, I was 22, 23 years old, pretty smart, Auburn grad. You know, we had a great high school education. And I go, "Hey, that's great." I got up from the breakfast table, went in there, and that weekend when we had to go to the actual library and look stuff up, I spent that whole weekend researching and learning what he told me at breakfast that morning.
You went and read it in hardback books.
Hardback book.
How about that?
You know, got Newsweek off the magazine.
And that's really what stirred your interest to get in this
That
business.
stirred
I don't
me.
think I ever knew that whole story.
So right then I said, I'm not going to let somebody like him or somebody dictate or tell me what I need to know. So I went and educated myself. And from that point, when I got off of active duty and came into this business, I've been educating people ever since. It's an educational process.
Yeah.
You know.
So let's talk about the Knowles Group for a minute. You moved upstairs. You got this big, nice spot. It's a beautiful office. Tell me what we're doing today.
What
the ribbon cutting and what you got going on.
We just had a ribbon cutting on our business. When I came up for active duty in '93, I went to work for MetLife, and I worked there for 19 years as a corporate guy.
See, I never say the name of the company when I talk about you. I say you work for some big companies.
Yeah.
But I guess it's okay. I mean, I knew you wound up in a high position in that.
Yeah,
giant
I was
company,
a senior exec there.
Yeah.
John Schrieffer, who's out here, he was my boss there.
Met him, yeah.
Yeah, so Terry Bagwell works here, and he and I were business partners. This was his office. So I made a full swing back to this office here. This was our office in the '90s.
So you came through here and then went off to Dallas and
I went
traveled
to
around.
Huntsville. Terry worked this office. I went to Huntsville, and then I went
Yeah.
to Dallas, ran that centralized location, and then came back here in 14, and that's when you taught me in the best day of my life. When we had lunch down there at that place. I don't even remember where we ate
I
lunch.
think we ate at Jim and Nick's or something.
No, it was
or,
a fancy restaurant.
Oh, did
there on
we?
the-
Oh, whatever.
Yeah,
Okay.
you picked it. I didn't.
I was
but-
bougie back then.
But then you said, hey, all what I want you to do is I want you to try advertising on our show for 30 days.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't think it works. And that decision right there changed the whole philosophy of my life.
Well, and now you got your own show.
We got our own show on
Yeah.
Saturday. I mean, I remember when we first started doing it down at the show down there, and it was just like we had to go down there to your place and record it. And then we
Yeah.
started recording it here, and now we built our own
Yeah.
sound booth and
Yeah.
everything.
I
And
like
now Sunday we start Good Morning Alabama. So I'm the prime.
What is that? Oh, on the ABC?
Yeah, I'm the
Yep.
prime financial advisor for their show now.
Oh, you'll do great at that.
Yeah,
They'll
so
love having
we
you
air
there.
it the first time.
Good deal, man.
No.
Is people trying to get you out of here? They're trying to
I
get
don't
you.
know what Parker needs. He always needs something.
His son is he's like, Dad, get out of here. What are you
Everything's
trying
an emergency.
He's afraid you're going to say something stupid and ruin the business. That's
Yeah.
what it is. I can see that
So-
look on his face. Like, don't say it, Dad.
yeah.
My kids look at me like that all the time.
Yeah, but it's good to have your family business here. And
I got to say this, Danny, and I've told you this privately, but you have raised some fine young men. And I'm
Thank
not
you.
saying
You
that
have
because you're
too.
an advertiser, but these are sharp young men.
I mean,
They
your
work
story.
hard.
I tell your story all the time to people that don't know you. What you did for the kids in Huntsville, and I was there when all of that went down, and what you did. So it takes a special guy to do that stuff,
Wow.
to step up and step in.
It's life, man. It's
It
what we
is
do.
life.
It's what we do.
And you and I control the if in life every day.
Damn Skippy.
Huh?
He's got me fired up. I want to go fight somebody right now. Yeah, let's go. But yeah, congratulations on
Thanks,
the move.
brother.
I'm glad you're able to pop
Thanks
in.
for
I
your
know you got your
friendship.
clients out there.
50 years.
Hey, one of your clients just walked in. He wanted to meet, he's a listener of ours. He wanted to meet me, and he came in during the break. And I said, "Well, market's up today. I'm glad you went with Danny." He said, "Check hadn't cleared yet. I should have got in yesterday." He said, "I said he'll make it up for you." He goes, "I hope so. It's everything I got." So that's
Yeah.
the trust
That was Ty.
people put. Yeah. He was so nice.
Yeah.
But he's actually getting in a good time, I think, because we're still down. I mean, it's still a good buying
we're
opportunity.
down 8%, so it's a good. It's a fire sale right now.
All right, brother.
Thanks, brother.
Good
Thanks
to see
for
you.
50
All
years
right,
of
man.
friendship.
All right, there it is. Little Danny Knowles interview. Who's the celebrity right here, Justin, me or him? I think it's Danny. He's got an entourage. They came to get him in a little entourage to take him out of the radio booth. All right, yeah, we're hanging out over here at the Knowles Group today. It's been fun to visit with everybody and see, really, he has all these clients out there that they're entertaining for the grand opening, but a lot of them are our listeners, a big group of them. They've one by one come in to greet us, and I think that relationship's just great. Y'all, let me tell you about another friend of mine. John's a newer friend of mine than Danny. I hadn't known John 40-something years, but I guess 49 years we've known each other. Man, we're getting old. But John and I mean, we've been tight for probably a good solid 10. And I'm telling you, I remember the first time I ever walked in Lania's Furniture Company. I was actually in Warrior where their original location was, and I wasn't there to advertise for John. We were there just doing like a street show for we were going around these little small towns. We were sitting out on the sidewalk. So I decided to bounce around and visit some of the local businesses in Warrior. And I remember opening the door going, wow, dude, seriously. I would never have known about all this quality stuff in a little small town like that. And it's only gotten better since then. Of course, they built this mega store, I call it a super store. It's an acre of furniture under one roof. And it's the people. I've gotten to know a lot of the team over the years because I bought everything in my house there almost. And they're just so helpful or not. I like it when people leave you alone, let you think, but then are ready for you if you need to ask questions. It's true of anything you buy if it's a big ticket purchase. And sometimes buying a room full of furniture, that can be a big ticket purchase. They always have quality. They always have style. They know how to buy at market. This is something they've done for 93 years. They know if you get it in bulk and get the right stuff and put it at fair prices, you can just stay in business. And then every now and then run a sale when you've got something special, and we'll tell you about those when they come and go. And don't forget the custom delivery. They'll bring it all the way to you. Or you can pick it up right there, bring a trailer, take it home. Lonnie's Furniture Company. They're in a little small town, an unexpected place off the interstate, out in the country, up in North Jefferson County. But when you get there, you'll see what I mean, and that'll be your furniture store from now on. It's Lonnie's Furniture Company, Launius, LauniusFurnitureCompany.com. Back here in a minute. Yeah, y'all, another good buddy of mine. What's so funny, it's like Friends Day with Leland, because I was just talking about John at Lanius, and one of his good friends is Dr. Brian. That's how I know Dr. Brian and how he came to be on the show with us all these years as well. He's my dentist. Want him to be your dentist. He and the whole practice. There are 4 dentists at Alabama Dental, and every night I give you the drill because I want you to really understand. With a 4-dentist practice, now you've got a sort of a super practice, so they can do the extended hours. They can stay there as late as 7 o'clock. They can do those Saturday appointments, which is really, really, I've never done it. I've managed to get in there early in the day, but sometimes it's hard for me. I know with most people's days, you're running your errands after work. I have to do everything before work, but the day builds out fast. And with the idea that you can get up and grab a coffee and go breeze over there and get this done with you and yours and take good care of yourself with the good folks over at Alabama Dental, that's how you do it. AlabamaDental.com, AlabamaDental.com if y'all want to get those appointments. And again, with the 4 dentists, they've got 4 specialties, an array of great hours, and equipment that they've invested in for diagnostics and treatment and all this high-tech stuff that they do nowadays. They can get to the bottom of it for you. It's AlabamaDental.com, AlabamaDental.com. All right, I was kidding around during the break. AJ, I think I'm going to go ahead and bring up the Kid Rock thing again.
Mm-hmm.
So we had the story this weekend, and you saw the video where some people, I believe it was a National Guard helicopter, but it was an Army helicopter. They buzzed Kid Rock's house, his White House replica house. Cool shot. I mean, they're hovering. He's saluting them. He's standing by his pool. I thought it was good PR for the military. But no, they went and busted him. They didn't bust him. They suspended the flight crew that buzzed by Kid Rock's house. Yeah. I'm torn on this because I understand the military's the military. You got regs on where you can go with that aircraft. That's not their personal aircraft. They gotta do their job. Am I being too? I mean, part of me says, leave him alone. That's probably the best PR hit the Army's had in a long time for recruitment. You got Kid Rock saluting these guys being heroes right now in the middle of all this. But at the same time, orders are orders, and the military is going to do what it does. Your thoughts?
Well, my thought is this: we're paying for that. I'm sorry.
True that.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
that was our gas.
That's all. Gas prices are high, bro. Like, for real. Like, you can't just go deviate and just say, hey, you want to swing by Kid Rock's house.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if it was part of the routine and like this was a set up plan thing, then I had got no problem with it.
Yep.
But if you just going just to go, just to do that, nah, bro. And I'm paying for that? Oh, no. And look, it's just like this, Leland. You have me do a task, right? Okay? And you expect me to be at a certain place, but I say, you know what? I'm finna go. I'm trying to think of who.
We'll do a little drive-by.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of somebody that you'd be like, oh, let's say I go to Willie Nelson's house, right?
Willie Nelson.
Yeah, just to do a drive-by with Willie. You'd be like, bro, I know that's Willie Nelson, but who told you to go over there to do that? Now I got to spend all this extra money to, because that's gas. That's and that's not cheap either.
It probably also comes down to the artist, right? So if it's an artist we're all cool with, it's fine. But if like they'd gone past like Taylor Swift's house, I might want them fired. I might want them fired and dismissed from the military and court-martialed.
Yeah,
depends on who they're flying by.
I mean, look, I get it. It's Kid Rock. I'm not knocking them doing that, but still, you're doing that on other people's dime. That's money that was paid. And then, like, you sat there, you did this, and then you drove. Like, bro, like. No, you got a job. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could have said, "Hey,
I'm torn. I'm telling you.
Can I just swing by Kid Rock's house? He's done a lot for America. He did the second Super Bowl. Can we do something?
What do you bet that Trump intercedes and reinstates these guys? I guess they just got temporarily suspended.
Yeah.
Everything I know about this subject, we talked about it yesterday. I learned from Top Gun when Maverick kept buzzing the tower.
And what happened to Maverick? He got in trouble too, though, right?
He got in trouble. He got a butt chewing. But then they sent him to Top Gun anyway. So maybe these guys will wind up in some elite school and they'll have a story to tell their grandkids.
Yeah.
Ball with the bang, diggy. All right, here we go. Bottom of the hour. Leland Live. All right, y'all, let's do this thing again. It's 3:35, Leland Live, hanging out here over at the Knowles Group in their radio broadcast room. They got their own radio broadcast room. Look at this. Just a little departure today from the normal roadshow I do at home. Y'all, Alabama Gold Refinery over in Homewood, bringing you the show again tonight. Always a good time to stock up on gold, especially if it's been in decline, and it has been. Some institutional investors were bailing and going to cash so they could do some things with the cash. Because of the Iran war situations, my understanding is some of the Middle Eastern countries needed to ramp up cash to do things with their oil capacity and with their war machine to defend themselves in that region. So they dumped all their gold holdings, and that just flooded the market and brought the price down. Some of that's still going on. What that just creates a good buying opportunity. And Alabama Gold Refinery, you can buy, you can sell. They'll exchange. If you got, say, a bunch of scrap, old class rings or other rings and jewelry that you don't wear anymore, they'll trade you that weight value for maybe a coin of the same value or another form that's stamped and marked that you can stick in a collection, easier to keep up with and exchange when it comes time for that. Steve's a great guy. I love everything about the location is central, so most people in this audience can get there relatively easy. They've got all the security in the world to get in and out of the facility with your cash or your stuff. To give you a landmark, they're crossing the big Regions building in Homewood on 29th. It's AGR, Alabama Gold Refinery, alabamagoldrefinery.com. As we roll through a Tuesday afternoon, the other weird and disturbing and just flabbergasting story of the day, we got a lot of those in addition to the big stuff, is this Kristi Noem story. This week's been crazy. I guess Tiger Woods was the end of last week. So we got Tiger Woods, we got all these people doing bizarre things, and that's just the nature of the news business. But today we learned that Kristi Noem's actual husband, apparently, have you seen these pictures, AJ?
I did not want to, but I did see them.
I know. I told you about it, and it probably burned in your retinas. And when you go to sleep at night and close your eyes, you're going to see this guy with his man boobs. But and I don't mean man boobs like we all get a little older and you sag some, from you don't have the same shape you used to.
No.
This guy straps on big, gigantic Dolly Parton boobs and is some kind of weird cross-dresser. I don't even understand what's going on. But he's been outed, and the whole political world is talking about it today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, and these ain't even good-looking boobs, AJ. This is like Mrs. Doubtfire. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just like, whoa, East Coast, West Coast. I mean, man.
Like, he can literally poke somebody's eye out with those things.
I mean, it's like they're ridiculously big, and if it was for, say a fraternity hazing or something like that, he's just going through some stuff that was funny, fine. But apparently this explains this Corey Lewandowski thing that nobody's ever understood. She drags Corey Lewandowski everywhere she goes. Every post she takes, he gets a job right beside her. We're like, what about her husband? And everybody in South Dakota has known that they were doing the horizontal refreshment for years, and it was like this open secret. Remember, this woman was the head of Homeland Security, and when she wasn't dressing up like Ice Barbie and doing political stunts with her long, super long hair. By the way, have you ever seen a picture of her from back in the day and what she looks like now? She's gone to glamour shots, man.
Yeah.
She looked like a librarian back when she first got elected governor, and now she looks like she's auditioning for some Jerry Springer show. And so she was running around and taking this buzz cut dude everywhere she goes. Now we get it. Her husband doesn't care because he hits for the other league.
Yeah.
Whatever that league is nowadays.
League is.
Yeah.
But look, now I'm like, look, you know what? Give her a job back. You know what I'm saying? Cause,
really?
Yeah.
Oh, let's hear this. Give her a job back.
Yeah, because okay, you got let go because of like cheating, right? You stepped out on your marriage, right? And then
is that why she got let go? I thought it was because of just running things in the ground.
Well,
and there was all that too.
But it was part of that too,
Well, it's because she got asked that question at the hearing and she couldn't answer.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And I get now why she didn't want to say nothing. Like, how would you say like my significant other likes to wear boobs bigger than mine? You know what I'm saying? And then I'm looking at some of the pictures; they kind of lopsided too. And it's like
he need to put them on a scale and weigh them and make sure they weigh the same kilograms on each side before he puts them on, because ladies, y'all can help this brother out. He looks terrible.
Yeah, and then you're a grown man doing the duck face with gigantic boobs.
Apparently, his name is Byron Noem, and he has had this secret life. It reminds me of that pastor that offed himself down in Smith Station. What was it, Smith Station, Alabama, where that guy liked to go online and dress like a lady, and he called himself Miss Piggy or whatever it was. The secret lives of people online, it's just twisted. So why wouldn't they just like go to Splitsville and let him move on with his fetishes, right?
Right.
I don't know why. And here's the bigger question, and this is very serious. There are those analyzing this situation that say she was ripe for being blackmailed or compromised because of this little family secret. And yet, even in the vetting, somehow she gets this job over a very sensitive agency with this weird stuff in her life that could easily have been used to pressure her into this or that because she didn't want it to come out. And now it's out, and I don't know what to make of it. And she still got a job. Trump gave her a job like promoting the war against drug cartels or something like that. I don't know.
Now you know. Be like, oh, so you the woman with the dude with the fake boobs, huh? Okay,
dude. And there's a name for what he does, and there's so much weird stuff nowadays. I forget what it's called. The dollification, or they had a name for guys that like to. It's not even cross dressing. They're just comically dressing like women for sport, I guess. I don't know
what sport that is because I don't need that type of sport.
And now my eyes can't bring this back. You know how they keep putting up these Marco Rubio pictures of him sitting on that couch, and there's one of him with giant boobs now. Every time something happens in the news, they say now Rubio's got to do that job, and he's sitting on the skull couch. Here you go. I'm gonna let Justin come around here and do this live on camera. I'll walk around to the other side, and I'll let you just react cold. I do this to AJ all the time. I don't want to rehearse response. There's Rubio with the boobs.
Goodness.
Yeah, there he
with
is.
The blue tie going
yeah,
down the middle.
tie.
That's perfect.
AI is ridiculous.
Oh, that's hilarious.
AI is.
Oh, that's fantastic. Everyone needs to look that picture up.
Sometimes it's worth having AI, and sometimes I'm frightened of it. But sometimes people use it for good, which is the Rubio meme right there. AJ, I would send it to you, but I'm not even sure I can do that right now. I got so many technical things happening all around.
Well, technically, I'm not supposed to open unenlisted stuff from outside
really?
source. So
you know who the source is, though. I'm sending it to
straight to spam. Like, hey, I'm reporting it to our corporate. That's what I was taught in all.
I'm about to get a sexual harassment complaint by sending AJ boob videos from Marco Rubio.
They said if you see something, say something, right? Hey, I'm saying something right now. I'm reporting this.
I'm going to use the Don Lemon defense and say, hey, I was just being a journalist. I was going to get to the bottom of this Kristi Noem's husband titties.
See, hey, look, man. I feel like what about Gen Zers? I feel offended.
Yeah, see, AJ's been triggered.
I am triggered.
I
think I need to go to Starbucks and drink me some coffee.
Who we put? Look, in fairness, I came down hard on Ketanji Brown Jackson for not knowing how to do her job. And Trump's got some solid people. Rubio ought to be the next president. I'm high on him right now. He is. I've watched him. I'm a big fan of his. I could handle JD. There's some other people in that cabinet that are blowing my mind. Todd Bessent, maybe the best Treasury Secretary we've ever had. This guy is so sharp. And I could go down the list. But the two that still irritate me, that they keep hanging around, that have no business in these jobs, are Pam Bondi and this woman. And I used to like her during COVID when Kristi Noem kept her state open. It made me want to go to South Dakota. And the first time I ever went to South Dakota, I said, I want to go travel there. It's a beautiful state with great people. I will never forget. This is a true story, what I'm telling you right here with my hand up. If you're watching on the camera, you can see me. Hey, the camera just moved. That was cool. So I go into I was looking for a part for the RV. I was staying in Rapid City, and I needed a little RV part, and I kept calling around. I was trying to make something. It's a little sensor. I was trying to make a bracket for it. And when you're trying to do things on the road, you'll go anywhere that has the parts. So I called around, found a little sort of a local auto parts store in downtown Rapid City, very near the Harley-Davidson dealer. And I rode over that way, over there. I remember it was right by the Indian motorcycle dealer, too. Bikes are a big deal there. And I go in and just shooting the breeze. And so I don't know how I got on to politics, because I usually don't talk much about politics when I'm off vacationing. But I was doing shows from there that week, radio shows from there. And I remember talking to the guy behind the counter, and somehow he was talking to somebody about the governor. And I sort of got in on the conversation. I said, I said, I'm not from here. What do y'all think of Kristi Noem? This is when she was still the governor. And one of the guys, I didn't understand what he was saying in the moment. This happened to me. I'm standing there with a little part in my hand waiting to check out. One guy goes, she's all right. I mean, she's done a pretty good job, but man, her husband is something else. And I had no idea what he was talking about. I was like, so what's the deal with that? So he goes, I don't know. I just think there's a scandal there. And that's, I didn't get any other. This dude walked out. I paid for my part. I thought, oh, well, there's some, they say all politics is local. And so the local people always know more about these jacklegs that wind up on the national stage. And now all this freaky deaky stuff comes out. And I'm like, look, everybody's got a right to their own personal business, but you can't be in a position like Homeland Security Director, especially one that ran around doing photo ops more than she did managing the agency. She did. And Pam Bondi does the same thing. Pam Bondi spends more time doing hair and makeup to go on Fox News than she does indicting people. Let me just say that. Is that a fact or no? Yes, it is. I mean, rather than pursuing some of this corruption that she claims, I mean, they're biting around the edges of it right now. Maybe she'll impress me by handing down sweeping indictments of public officials involved in stuff that we should know about. But for the most part, she spends a lot of time prepping to be on Fox News and some of the other newscasts, I guess. I bet I will be willing to bet at least half of her time is consumed with media hits. And it's just, that's not who we want. I want an attorney general that I don't see for about 3 or 4 weeks because they're back there putting the ink on indictments. And then they pop out like a little whack-a-mole about every 3 or 4 weeks with a news conference, and they're dropping indictments and putting people in handcuffs. That's what I want to see with the attorney general. We don't need a showboat. We don't need any more PR. The Trump administration's got its own PR machine. So these two, I don't think Bondi will be there too much longer. She's kind of on thin ice as it is. But I hate to admit it. I mean, I was a Noam supporter from what I knew of her, but she's been a huge mistake. I mean, and it's not to blame her, but the thing about it, they're participants in this stuff. And again, I don't care what people do in their private lives if they're competent, but she's not competent. Again, if she was so good at what she did and she did things flawlessly, I wouldn't care how they got their freak on. I wouldn't care how they let their freak flag fly, she and her husband. They can have a throuple if they want to. But in this case, she's both compromised and a bit of a showboat and has been marginalized now and shoved to the side and had this embarrassment. Trump administration needs to find her another job. I don't know what that would be. We need to find out where Corey wants to go next and ask him because he'll be in the suitcase, apparently. Southern Skies Dermatology bringing you the show tonight, southernskiesdermatology.com. Y'all, that's where you need to go get checked for skin cancer. I just had 2 more in the last week. I've gotten 2 more listeners that have reached out to send me a thank you. And almost invariably, every time it's people that wound up going and finding something. We sort of take it for granted. You go and you get an all clear and you're good to go. And we sort of go, oh, well, great. That's a relief. And then you move on with your life. But, man, when you go and they find something you would have missed if you'd have waited another week or 2 or a month or 2, and I'm not trying to use too much hyperbole, but something that could have cost you your life, like a melanoma that had set up shop and was very, very dangerous. When you get that kind of news, it's shocking. Nobody wants to hear the C word. Then the next words out of their mouth are, we're going to remove it, and it's going to be fine. And that kind of peace of mind, man, I guess that's what inspires people to reach out and write, and they do repeatedly and tell me, man, we appreciate the tip because I got the appointment. Guess what they found? I'm all good. Thank you for the tip. Like I did it. Look, they're an advertiser. They pay to be on the show, but I feel like every day I almost feel like it's a PSA to remind people to do the screenings, take care of yourself. That's true of all cancers. But the place for skin cancer is Southern Skies Dermatology, southernskiesdermatology.com. Back here in just a minute. right, y'all, let's turn this microphone on. Let's do this some more. Leland Live, Talk 99.5. Y'all welcome back in here as we do our afternoon show. Today over at the Knowles Group as Danny's moved offices and wanted me to come hang out. And so I've enjoyed seeing a lot of home folks from back where we grew up, and, of course, meeting a lot of his clients, which are a lot of our listeners. So if you're tuning in on the internet on the YouTube channel, that's why I'm in a little bit of a different location today. Let's talk real quick about work trucks. If you've got your own business, you're feeling optimistic. Looks like at least the stock markets are buying that maybe we're on the other side of this war conflict today. Other plans that you've had this year, if you're ready to get after it in this golden age, but you're going to need a truck to do whatever you do, to do your services, to get your things to your customers. It's work trucks. These are commercially based. These are business vehicles. Vehicles help you get stuff done day in and day out. And they've gone to the trouble to go to the lease market and find the best of these, bring them back here, go through them 125 points. That's important. I kid around and say I don't even know if I would know 125 things to check if I were looking at a pre-owned truck, but they do. They know trucks. So they'll go through all those fine details, then put them on the lot. They just got a lot of integrity with that. Bubba won't put an item on that lot, any kind of truck, a box truck, a van, a flatbed, any of them that aren't ready for work. And so they've done a lot of work to get those here so you can just go down and pick one and get back to doing what you do to make money. It's Work Trucks, TRUX, WorkTrucksLLC.com, downtown Birmingham, Work Trucks, TRUX, WorkTrucksLLC.com. All right, let me see what I haven't gotten to yet. There are a couple other little stories I wanted to bring up. We talked about, Ted Cruz. Let's get to this. So yesterday I'm giving our buddy Twinkle Toes, Lindsey Graham over there, a hard time for going off to Disney. What he did. So there were those pictures of him walking around with his little bubble wand at Disney as a 71-year-old man with no kids around him while the part of the government is shut down and these people have failed to do their jobs, right? And the House guys, to give them credit, they're still ticked off about this situation because they've gone back into their districts and they're catching hell from constituents about what the Senate did, right? And so the House is ready to go. They've sent their version of a fix over to the Senate. The Senate faked it the other day, did a pro forma session, and gavelled out while their members are off gallivanting around the country. And I knew there'd be other pictures. But now there's one of Ted Cruz, who this is the third time during a crisis or any kind of hard time he's off doing something other than being in Texas. And so he's apparently somewhere down in Fort Lauderdale. I don't know what he's doing. Maybe he's not walking around with a little bubble wand blowing bubbles on kids like a creep. But he is in Fort Lauderdale, a vacation spot here for this Easter break. So, and then I heard a soundbite today with one of them, and I think it was a Democrat that got pissed off because some reporter questioned them, and they go, look, we have business to do here too. When we go home, we work up and down our states to meet with our constituents. And when the reporter said, yeah, but the government shut down, it's like, yeah, but the vote to fix it is in Washington, not back home, and they just didn't fix it and didn't do their job and left. And everybody gets that. So I think they can weather it, and they probably will. People get mad about it and then move on to the next thing. But it's coming to a boil, I guess, and we'll all go off and do Easter, which is just days from now, and another week will pass, and there'll probably be other videos of them off gallivanting around. But this is what this is what Lindsey Graham did. Apparently, right after the image got out of him prissing around Disney World with this bubble thing, he posted a picture of himself shooting sporting clays. I guess he had gone back home, or maybe it was an old event where, they always pull a gun out and they shoot in their commercials, and so he's out shooting clays with his shotgun and his vest. And the caption was something like, shooting clays in so-and-so county. Can't get any better than this. And that was his big thing. And so, dude, are you serious? I guess he needed to rehab his masculinity a little bit after the Disney fiasco. These people have become caricatures of themselves, and y'all know it. Now let's do some Canadian politics. We'll swerve into this real quick before we get to the top of the hour. AJ, by the way, my call screen computer just turned off, so if we've had callers lined up, I'm trying not to ignore people, but yeah, and we do have, we'll get to John here in just a second. Alberta, Canada. Keep your eye on them. They have now achieved the signatures they need to put a referendum to a vote of the people in this province of Canada. I understand that would be on October the 17th, and there's a chance for them to vote to secede from Canada and I guess become part of the United States if they want, but to separate themselves from the country of Canada. Alberta is an amazing area. It's the only place in Canada I've ever been, and they're so much like Americans there. They're like our cowboys out west. It's a very cowboy cattle region, mountain resorts and things like that in the Rockies. So we'll be watching that. I was amazed that I thought this was just a bunch of hype, but they've apparently achieved enough political support to get this thing on a ballot and put it to a vote. John is over in Hoover. Let's talk to him real quick as we head toward the top. John, what's going on with you tonight?
Hey, Leland. Yesterday I tried to call in and talk to you. I know you advertise the dermatologist and trying to do cancer screening, and I'll try to be real quick. About 16 years ago, I had a friend at work, and he came in one day with a red face, and I asked him why. And we were both in our 60s, and he said he had had cancer and had to have treatments. And he asked me if I'd ever been to a dermatologist, and I said no. And being past 60, he said, I think you need to go. Mm-hmm. So I took him at his advice, and I went in. And then I ended up having 3 blue light treatments because my face looked like, under the treatments, like I had measles or something like that.
Hey, John, we've got a hard break here in a second. I do want to hear how this came out for you, if you don't mind holding. We'll do the top of the hour and be right back. Stay tuned.